All right, good afternoon. Notice on your quarter sheet, what you should be doing is writing your prediction of the motive for the murders. What do you think is the motive? Why did they commit murder? Remember that Special Agent Simmons said it's not only important to discover the who, but the thing that is even harder and more, not more important, but just as important, is to find the why. The why, yes, and that can oftentimes be the most difficult thing. So what do you, as an investigator, really feel is the motive for this murder, this multiple murder? Write that down, and then we're going to go over, we're actually going to share these Thursday when we get to our discussion.
We're sharing our prediction.
Thursday, yep. And then you will actually write an official theory of motive as an investigator. So you're just priming the pump right now, because you'll be reading more throughout the next couple days that will give you more information to work with on your predictions as to why what the motive is. Put your name on them and I'll pick them up. Yep. I've got some over what? Did you get a question? Oh, I'll get one. Thanks, though.
You know what?
All right, so we will share these on Thursday. All right, so what we're going to do now, we are investigators, and we're going to get into investigative teams to document the multiple homicide that just occurred. So it is November, step back in time, November 16th, 1959, and you investigators are going to get together with your investigative teams to document this, to actually fill out a homicide report. Now, you guys may, for the rest of your lives after high school, not really have to do a lot of formal writing like essays. Some of you will have to write a lot in your job. Some of you will have to write not as much, and all sorts of different kinds of writing. But the one thing that each one of you will have to do for the rest of your lives is to fill out forms. You will fill out forms in the doctor's office. You will fill out forms in the tax office. You will fill out forms for a police report when you get in an accident. You will fill out reports and forms for employment everywhere. So getting very good at filling out forms, knowing how to traverse all of the boxes is something that's important. So we're going to do that. However, the one thing I want to mention to you is that when Officer or Special Agent Simmons was here, before he left, he goes, "Oh man, I forgot to tell him one thing about writing." He said, "The writing is so important, as an agent or any police officer, because you have to get things right. Because if you don't, if you forget a detail, forget to write it down on the forms, on all the documentation, you have just screwed up someone's, maybe the victim, maybe the suspect, maybe it really ends up not being the suspect that you think it is. You will actually have to testify using this document. So not only do you need it to be accurate for the actual process, but your reputation is being staked on you doing a good job and complete job and accurate job of filling out the forms and all of the paperwork. So what I'm going to do before I hand these out is to get us into our investigative teams. So we're going to have the North Pole, the Equator, and the South Pole.
And team winners.
Team winners. You're all going to be team winners. Each of the 3 teams, investigative teams that we're going to have. Okay, so if you know that you're one of the better, if you know that your knowledge of the details in this classroom about the facts and details of our murder are probably better than most, I would like you to go on to the North Pole. If you're like, yeah, I'm pretty much with everybody else, I kind of know, I know a lot, but there's probably a few more people that know more than I do. I want you in the Equator. If you are lost and clueless, and that's not everybody, you're going to go to the South Pole. No, South Pole, Equator, and North Pole. But some of you have done a fabulous job of putting your investigative facts and details and clues on our CSI log. So those of you who have done a really good job, I want you on the North Pole. Middle ground is, yep, I know quite a bit, I can contribute. And on the South Pole, if you're like totally just can't remember the facts, or you're.
What about like the smartest people in the world?
If you're the smartest person in the world and you're in this class and you know the fastest person in this world. Okay, so everybody get up. It's so much longer. I'm not going to get anything away. Okay, so everybody needs to get up. Get up and move to your spots. If you think like in the middle. Okay. So we have 2, 4, 6. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to have the gentleman be special agents in charge. You may pick from the buried here, try to get a little bit of both. You pick 4 other team investigators. Okay, Nadia and Rain, you are supervisor or special agents in charge. You do the same. Pick 4 from a couple from here, a couple from there, and the same Anna and Kayla. You are special agents in charge. You pick your team as well. We'll let Anna and Kayla go first. Pick a couple. You girls then can pick a couple, then the guys pick a couple, and then do that again. You're forming your investigative teams. Pick 1 or 2 here, or actually, okay. Do you not want to pick? You want me to separate? Okay. You, Mr. Tanner, will go with.
Whoa. No.
Yes.
Mr.
Rain and Nadia. Okay.
We gotta be together.
Mr. Barker, who has a separate brain, can go with Anna and Kayla.
No, we're not doing that.
Okay.
We're investigative.
Hannah, you will go with Will and Sam. Okay. You will go with Kayla. You will go with Will and Sam. Well, because
This
nobody
is not a
has read it, so and I
democracy.
went, no, it's not a democracy. You are. No, I have. Okay, Tori, go with, Rain. Did I do, or did I have somebody more than 2 with you? Okay, Rain and Nadia. Okay, and then separate the guys further. Okay, Stephen, and Garrett. Come over with Kayla. Colin and Colby go with Will. And you three go with Nadia and Ray. In order to get, well, okay, so John and Zach. Go with Ray. Okay, so get into your teams. You can pick where you want to go. Kind of stay in this area so we'll be able to move around.
Garrett.
Interesting with that.
Yeah. Okay, Nadia and Ray, as special agents in charge, it looks like you're going to have to move your team over in this area. Yeah, I think so. Sam. All right, I'm going to hand out the reports. We each have to do one. Okay. You will each be responsible for your own crime incident report, even though you're getting to discuss and collaborate on that together as a team. And that will help you, obviously. All right, you can see that I have filled out some of this for you. I'm going to tell you what I've done for everybody first, and then we're going to go, and I'm going to give you directions for each specific group, because you're going to be moving to all three groups within the hour. Okay, so I have filled out for you the top part. So you can see we have rows and columns. The first row is the crime, what is it? Our case number is English 3, period 8, so you can put an 8 in there. The code section description is multiple homicide. Additional offenses listed in narrative. You are going to be listing lots of things in your narrative. The time, do you know the time? Well, it was before church on Sunday, yes. But do we know a specific time? At this time, remember, we are not in 2014, 15. We are back in 1959, the day after. Do you investigators in 1959 know anything about Dick and Perry? No. We as readers, the dramatic irony there, we as readers know them, but you as investigators in 1959 do not know them. Okay, so we don't have a time there. Day of the week, Sunday, month, day, year is November 15th, 1959. Location, rural route, Holcomb. That's all the addresses you used to have back then, rural route. Finney County. The victims, I have the 4 victims there, Herbert Clutter, Bonnie Clutter, Nancy Clutter, and Kenyon Clutter. Same address, we have their sex, their dates of birth, their race, their whether they were injured or not, their status, and victim-suspect relationship. So, and we have unknown in there. All right, the next row is MO info. What does MO stand for?
No, more.
No. Mode. Mode of operation. How did it happen? Where and how did it happen? How did it go down? How did it proceed? Okay, so part of you will be filling that out first. So we have the witness types. Remember, we don't have any specific witness who saw the actual murder, do we? So far, we don't know. Okay, but we have witness checks, meaning people who can tell us what happened before and after, and actually when they found the bodies, like Susan and Nancy, who read about on Friday. Okay, so those will be some people that we need to go back to in order to get some information. And you can find that on pages pages 58 to 66. So each of you should have a writing utensil, and now that you move, sorry, your text, because pages 58 through 66 will have most of the information that you need here. Okay, so that's the information that I have filled out for you. You are actually going to put yourself in the position of Sheriff Robinson. So you will, as you're filling this out, be thinking, I am Sheriff Robinson. Remember, Sheriff Robinson went with whom to the house and found the victims? The writer and, what's that?
Teacher.
The teacher, right. So, and we got the teacher's narrative of what happened. And the sheriff was with him. So it's going to be somewhat easy in a way to switch points of view and tell that same story from the sheriff's point of view. That's what you're going to be doing here when you fill this out. Okay, so this is going to be group 1 here, and you're going to all need to be together so you can discuss this. Everybody listen up so that you will be able, when you get to group 1, know what you're doing here. So group 1 has crime scene photos of the actual scene, where it took place, the house, and the bodies that we have pictures of. Okay, so you will be filling out MO. How did it all happen? And then, the crime description narrative. And what is narrative? When you write a narrative, you're writing what? What is a narrative? You narrate, what's that? First person, you could, yeah. And tell what? The story of what happened, right. So when you, for the crime description, you're going to be telling your story, your description of the crime. What happened? How did it go down? That goes with your front page information. And when you get done with that, where you have some on the back still, that's MO information. When you get done with that, then you can move on to the next one. Number 2 is going to be Will and Sam's group over there. They have a few crime scene photos as well of evidence. You will fill out the property section here and the evidence section. And then there are narratives where you actually tell your story, you describe, you tell about the evidence. Was the evidence, how was it disposed of? What was its disposition? What did they do with it? Did they dust the purse? Are you guys listening so you'll know what to do? Did they dust the purse? What did they do with all the evidence when they gathered it? What did they do with the wallet? What did they do with the extra cord? What did they do with photographs? What did they photograph? All of that kind of stuff. And injuries and property. What property was disturbed? What property was stolen, if we know of any? And the injuries. What were the injuries to the victims? We know they were shot, but where were they shot? Back of the head, side of the head, the face. Was anyone cut? Was anyone tied? All of that kind of stuff. All right, that's number 2. Number 3, over here, is the suspects and the victims. Now, our victims are all deceased, right? So will they have a statement to give us? I don't think so. So that needs to be documented. Why do we not have a victim narrative? Document why we don't have it. And we don't have any specific witnesses, like we said, but we have all sorts of people that we know can give us information, witness checks. Who was with him last? Who saw who was with him last? Who is with them on a daily basis? Who has any information that they can give you? And those people, you'll want to tell a story, write a narrative about what they have told you. Okay? So, number 1. Who's sorry? You guys, there you go. So it's highlighted here, what you need to fill out. You guys need to move in with that so that you can discuss that easily. Okay? Ready? And it's highlighted what needs to be done there.
Thank you.
All right, so talk with your investigative team about all of the information that you need to complete on this form. All right. Okay, so suspects.
Yes.
Okay.
You are.
I am suspect.
Wow. Bad profile.
Okay. So what kind of suspects do you have? That's what you're working on.
Construction names up there.
Okay, but you remember, you don't know. You're not psychic. You are not a psychic investigator. Okay, but look at these numbers. Look on, I'm gonna start here. Look on page, thank you here. Look on page 50. Read the first sentence of 50.
Following Monday, while giving keep taking the advice. Young Bobby, the
You don't see it. Close enough. All right, so where do we put that? Where is it?
What things do we need?
What? Oh, yes.
And look at the form on the first column, on the left. We know if they did it.
Number of witnesses.
No one has witnessed that. Yeah, right. Only what you know in part one. That's another thing. If you have read ahead after part one, remember, you as an investigator haven't gotten there yet. This is November 16th, 1959. So if you don't know which, because how many entrances? 4, right? And could have been a window, could have been a door. And the doors were unlocked, because the only person that locked doors was
3 miles
or
away.
the house. Yeah, so it probably was unlocked. Even though there was, it did say when Susan knocked on the door that there was one that was open a little. I mean, it was open before they went to bed. So if you don't know, but
Any direction.
yeah, it's like residential.
It's 3 miles.
No, open space.
3 miles. You know that height for weight. How was he built? How are they? What's his name?
Look on page 60.
On average, all things we know. Does he have good connection? What place do you think on race? Do you think first place in our race? How would you define this area? General hearing.
There was a 9, there was definitely there was a 9. Yeah.
What? That was the first.
don't think you're actually being.
Okay, so. So then you just do.
Are you sure you're full?
We were both 12.
What evidence can we use?
Yeah, they're not pictures.
Actually.
Which is the John?
It's just the outside of the house.
You can tell it's
Which is
a
the
house.
Yeah.
Be courteous.
Do you remember? I.
Which would be a 1974 house. Yes, it's too bigger.
They were doing like 19.
The front door looks like there's a screen.
Right, and so there, and that's. Yeah, that's. This was for a long time, but until 2 years ago.
There's a good body right here.
Come on, sir.
It's two, right? 1, 2.
Yeah, what would you put for the number?
Yeah.
Oh, look, they don't script it. HC body.
Numbers mean super.
What I said is that's.
Moving on from home.
They didn't have like the
There.
number that we have now.
So take on that.
That's what she did. 3 miles south, 2 miles.
You want?
We need this tactical board, guys.
So kids would be really nice.
I don't know how to spell. I don't know how to spell. This is the tactical.
Careful. Maybe it's really.
They know that, yeah, and we don't, do we have?
Your discretion.
Do we have it?
Yeah, water cooler.
Alright, that's either like a crown pressure
Well, you
cooker.
can't see that guy. So we don't.
Shower curtain? Nope. All right, thanks, Steven. Open vanity, all right? This is Harvick. This is Harvick. This is Harvick. Is the house still there today? Is it like a landmark?
No.
No.
That's
Field trip.
okay, where are you? I'm here.
Oh, we are in basement number 1. We're section skeletons.
Okay, so you can tell here that the target, where they acted, or had any action home was where the targets here.
It says the other hand.
Kitchen, yeah.
Did they say we're gonna
What's that? Basement would be one of the targets. Did you get any security used?
None.
Yes, and did the investigators know that right away? They might have assumed, well, they had a dog, the dog would have barked. So you could put some dog. Yeah, some shell. Okay, so you identified the basement and the kitchen. Bedroom, yep. Where was Mr. Clutter found? Specifically. Yeah. We know that phone was cut in Mr. Clutter's office, or yes, yep.
Road goes straight west.
Okay, one more minute and then we're gonna switch.
Is it right or straight west? So we go straight that way, but the road ran out. I'm trying to find out what this guy is.
All right, so you can get up, go clockwise. So this group goes to
All right.
number, what were you guys on? Or counterclockwise is what I meant to say. Sorry, thank you. Keep it straight there. Okay. Yeah. Okay, because I want you up and move there. Okay, so Tori and Colton, come over here. This way. We're going counterclockwise. I said clockwise first. I meant counterclockwise.
That's similar to the house. Hey,
There are more chairs here.
They're both over there.
Okay, so you guys are suspects in this one. So you as readers know about picking Harry as a suspect. Who do the
So I got literally nothing. Besides the guys. I'm assuming he's about 87 years old. No. I didn't investigate.
Said something about
John, if you don't put it together right here,
Guys.
now you're fine.
the names. Farm. So.
Where was this?
Leaders.
Best messages.
Yeah, we picked one of the sheep.
Leaders.
Maybe number one last.
So, yes, if you read the all of your address was.
And they.
I guarantee he's not one of the things that is usually dead. Because boy.
I was connected by the. We don't have a space, we don't really know anything.
John's telling me.
Well, this is still about years, so.
Okay, so, Bill, okay. That would have been something that.
Let's see if I can. We don't have any.
Okay, so if you go to the victim spot, the victim narrative.
The sheriff on your outside.
Did he die? Oh,
Shot. There it is.
What are you guys over there working on?
We're doing the
But number one, right?
number 4.
Number one's right here.
Okay, is that what you started with here? No, that started with it. Okay, I'm screwed up. What are you guys over there working on? Okay, that's, you guys, sorry, now I'm realizing what I did. I didn't tell you to keep these at the spots.
The investigation.
Yes.
Start over. I know.
Okay, this is what
They
you're
could
gonna
have taken the dog if you wanted.
This is the one that you're gonna do on your own. You're gonna be Sheriff Robinson, but as long as you talk about it, that's great. Okay, so,
I never. I don't even know what we're talking about.
so. Okay, so now you're gonna do the business statement, and you say what you do. Why are they not?
Oh, they got it. When they died.
Deceased, no difference at all.
19.
Your brain's trying to do that.
Everyone,
Your witness.
everyone, you're killing him, you're going to jail.
A story to tell about it, but finding them or and so what's it do? That doesn't mean that. Who else would have something to say about the actual crime scene? There's Susan Bigwell and then who else is here? Her dad, yeah, so all of those people would be able to give you narratives. Albert Stolten said, Susan Bigwell said, then this one actually. Okay, on your narratives, if you're like, I can't fit the narrative, especially for victims and the sheriff, if you think I can't fit all of the narrative in this little spot, get another sheet of paper, or you could just start a Google Doc as well and just type it out if you want to do that. For the narrative. Or the witnesses. Okay, sorry, yes, witnesses, not victims. So each of those witnesses and their story really is
Oh. No, nobody died. All of them died.
I did, I just can't only get told to know.
Sorry, sorry.
Summarize what he said, and then he also tells them the story of Sheriff Robinson. So you actually, actually this is the one you do by yourself, is the Sheriff Robinson's. What was it?
It's open. It's like a pond.
How, when was it that he came to the scene? How was it that he happened? He was called by him. Who did he meet where? Where did he go first?
National Space Station.
Oh yeah, there was water there.
They're talking space.
Wasn't the house like right next to it?
Where was it? I remember, but how does Truman Capote start out? Nope, we don't have any to the actual.
If we solve the crime, do we opt out of this?
But remember, the most important reason, the thing that you have to find is the failure is. And how did it go down then? Because,
I support it. I thought he was a very nice gentleman.
how do you, you're gonna need to be on the jury to figure that out for what it is.
It's okay.
No, you need
It's
to figure
okay.
out. You need to figure it out. And you need to have
I researched.
Okay, you've got, about 5-6 minutes to switch and go to the next one. Okay, so leave the yellow sheet or the highlighted sheet where it is. So the next group can have those corrections. Crime scene evidence and photos.
Oh, God, it's freezing over here.
Oh, you guys.
Oh, it's okay.
So, remember, you are investigators.
Say anything like that.
Was he actually arrested? You are not a reader, you are not an investigator, end of line. You are an investigator and members of the team. Let me know how you start this documentation. No problem. He is one of those rounds now. There's nobody knows about them at this point, but look at page 15. First line of what's that? Right, what did they do on page 15? They were first line on page 15. Okay, our investigative team can't communicate very well when we have to wait for the other guys to do it. Well, okay, so you are figuring out the mode of operation. So how did it happen? Where did it happen? What did they use? We have to figure out what's that? They have rope, yep. That they used how? And where do you put that? Where do you got it? Okay, how you? So right to the left of that, directly to the left of that is force, tool, weapon, other. So how would you document this? That part of what they did is other, rope, okay, so we can put other and then rope. And they were tied how? Special. Okay, were there any weapons? Yep. Say metallic was a shotgun. Okay, how was that used? At what point? At what? Yeah. Was it back head, front of the head, side of the head? Okay. And also what?
Well, supposedly Jesus.
Throat was slit. So they, another weapon was also, what's that? A knife. Yeah, so we know we have rope, knife, and shotgun.
They supposedly.
What's that? Well, you won't know of any other than right now at this point. How they found. You'll suspect, like, what's suspect that they did something to.
Let's take it back.
Okay, security. What did they have for security? A dog could be considered, even though we know.
They had notes, but
Right.
Neighbor said that their dog has tailing.
Yeah, so we know as readers that it was a gun shy dog. The investigators may or may not. And they still might think, oh, we're gonna ask you. Place of attack, point of entry, targets.
What?
On the second page.
Yeah.
Residents, yep.
My mom was there most of the time back then.
Okay, so if you're on the second page, what were the targets? Where did they go in the house?
The cellar.
Okay. Okay, so we have bedrooms, basement. Where did they find, one of the phones was cut where?
Office.
Office with den. And the purse was on the floor where? In the kitchen. And specifically in the basement, where was Mr. Clutter? Furnace. Okay, have a really great night tonight. I'll see you tomorrow.